What's happening, everyone? Before this next leg of podcast show starts, this is a reminder to you not to be a minge bag. Go over to Patreon, sign up for £1 a week and take advantage of all the Patreon perks. It is the Patreon that pays. We have a betting show on a Saturday, which the postman here is picking winners every single week.
Yeah, the betting show comes out Saturday mornings, covers UFC and boxing, footy when we're in the footy season. But yeah, we're winning on a weekly basis. I can't remember the last week we didn't find some sort of winner. So yeah, as Andy says, don't be a minge bag, come and get involved. And as I say, it's one of the best communities that you could be a part of, isn't it?
It's a belter. As well as the betting show on a Wednesday, me and Jord have a chat. That's where you might have seen on our Insta Reels about crocs, about harpooning people at the end of the night, all that kind of chat that goes on. And even better, every single Wednesday we do a raffle draw, and our sponsors Montrex give £100 gift voucher away just for being on Patreon. No better time to join. There's 30 plus episodes already that you can go back and watch. Again, no better time. Get involved. Don't be a minge bag. £1 a week, and we'll see you there.
Everyone in my gym was already on one championship. Aguilan, Keanu, Gianni, everything. Mehdi, now he's there as well. So when I was watching MMA and watching these lads, I would go to their shows and watch them fight. And it'd be like, lad, this is sick. Like, production value wise, the best show in the world.
Just for context, one championship is as bigger than UFC in Asia.
In Asia, it's bigger than UFC.
That's why UFC can't. Like, UFC is making everything they can now to
break the market
Asia and bring every fight. But I mean, the man who runs it's like
he's a billionaire.
He ran a hedge fund in the US for years, and he's like a complete billionaire. Yeah.
So, I've heard that it can be a path to one championship. And I've just thought, you know what, this can better me family's lives and that. I'm seeing them making good money and that. I can fucking start making serious money and doing things. So I thought, you know what, fuck it, I'll do it. Went in there with zero wrestling, zero striking, and fucking got the head punched off me in the first fight, but took the guy down and submitted him. It's Asia's a mad gaff, yeah. You could not.
You know the people who now you're fighting against, obviously they can scrap, they can do everything. Are they as good at jiu-jitsu maybe, or because they're focusing on other things, and maybe you've got
I feel the same though now.
Yeah.
Like, my jiu-jitsu isn't what it used to be. I feel I'm probably wrong, but that's how you feel, because now you're not doing jiu-jitsu 3 times a day.
Yeah.
You're doing
striking,
boxing, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, strength and conditioning. Then you got to do all your boring stuff, like your extra work, your wall work, your footwork. So you got to juggle everything. Jiu-jitsu, I was just doing jiu-jitsu every day. I wasn't even lifting. But so now at this point, lad, Asia is a crazy place. You could never do this in Liverpool. It would not. It'd go off. Someone would get killed. So, picture. Do you know what the Twin Towers are in Malaysia?
No.
Yeah, with the thing across the bridge across there.
Yeah. Oh no, it wasn't the Twin Towers. It was a different mall. Sorry, it was Paradigm Mall. It's still a big shopping mall. Imagine St John's. Yeah.
Okay, just like.
Imagine St John's, and imagine they just put an MMA cage in the middle of St John's. And now imagine every single part of St John's is full of people. Packed as it could possibly be.
A modern day Colosseum.
And anyone who walks past this cage, they go, do you want to fight? Jump in the cage if you want and do a little tryout.
Wow.
Bro, they were letting anyone walk in, and look, people were getting sparked out cold and that. And this is what I was saying, that was Liverpool. Someone who thinks he's the boy would jump in, get knocked out and come back with his mates, and it'd be going off. It'd be going off, let me tell you. Lad, I'm showing up to the event with me brother, a big firm of us, and we just bossed the show, lad. No one had ever seen no Scousers before, lad. Everyone's like, hey, hi. We're like, move, we're here. Jumped in the cage. They were like, first round, you got to grapple with this guy. Second round, you're going to go with someone else in the cage, and then you're going to have an MMA go. So I've grappled with this guy, this fucking Russian guy, choked him out by 15 times, boom, boom, boom. So they're like, okay, writing down and out. Boom. Got in the cage, they put me in with this kickboxing guy, and he punched the head off me on the feet. But I just kept taking him down, and I'd take him down and I'd submit him. And you know when I'd submit him, I'd get up like, yes, the fight's done. And they'd be like, no, this is just a tryout, mate. Fight. And I'd be like, but if he knocks me out, it's over. And they're like, oh yeah, if he knocks you out, it's done. We're not letting you get knocked out twice. And I'm like, well, this isn't fair, is it? Lad, I had to submit him like 10 times or something. But every time I'd get stood up, he just punched the head off me. So after now, I've gone back to the gym and that, and we've got the call, like, they liked me. We've selected you to be on this TV show. So you're on a TV show, it's like a tournament, and you're going to fight every month until you're in the final.
It's like Ultimate Fighter, like kinda.
Yeah, kinda, yeah. Lad, it was mad. And they made weight classes, but the weight class I was in, because they didn't want to mix the weight class with foreigners. So my weight class was called Foreign Pride, and it was only for foreigners. So I could only fight foreigners, and I was looking at the Malaysian guys like, they're easy money, I'd run through them. But I had the tougher path, I felt, because I had to fight all foreigners, do you know what I mean? But I enjoyed it, lad. I weren't asked, I'd fight anyone. I didn't even... do you know what? It was no pressure for me, because it wasn't what I wanted to be. I didn't want to be a fighter. It was just like, I'm on the run. I'm with me brother, just having a laugh. I'm with Bruno in my corner. No one can beat me. It is what it is. I'm just going out there and I'm just going to do my best. So it was like no pressure, lad. And I was going out there, lad, and just winning every fight after fight after fight, submitting them all. And then like my MMA coach Aguilan, he was fighting in one championship. He fought Ben Askren in one championship.
Yeah.
So I'm working with him every day. He was putting loads of work into me. Then I'm doing Muay Thai with me Muay Thai coach, and me wrestling coach from Iran, he was there. So I'm learning to wrestle a lot. And I just felt like I was just getting better and better and better. I made it all the way to the final. And then this was like my first ever hurdle in the road, where I've got to the final. It's a fucking big televised show. And then the guy who owns the show contacted us and being like, lad, we've seen all these articles online about you, you know. You're wanted and that, aren't you? At this time, do you ever remember that big screen that used to be in town by Boots, by the back of St. John's?
Oh, yeah.
So at this time, it's around Christmas time, they had this big screen in town. I fucking hate the police for this. They had my face on the screen and they photoshopped a Christmas hat onto my head, and it said underneath, "Beware Christmas burglars," with a picture of my face, lad. I'm not a fucking burglar. Never fucking. Do you know what I mean?
Just 24/7 on that screen in town.
It'd slide every now and then to another face, but there was only like 7 faces on it. And lad, all my mates are taking pictures and sending me it.
Well,
going,
it comes down to earth, that is.
I know,
You're
you know what I
like,
mean? You're like,
yeah.
I'm moulding myself into this
Yeah,
I'm on
just better
TV.
person, yeah.
And I weren't really asked. It was the burglary thing. Now I've gone from being this guy in the gym who everyone likes to now like, whoa.
You're a thief.
I think, lad, as well, I don't know about you, but like all crimes that you can commit. I think like robbing just a normal person house robbing, that's
scumbag move.
Scumbag,
yeah. Paedophiles, fucking house robbers, they're the lowest of the low. Even look, you go to jail, murderers on the same level as them. Unless like you've done a bad murder and you murdered but if you murdered another gang member, it's part of the life you were living, mate.
Does that irk you a lot, like the fact that you were labelled a burglar and a thief?
Yeah, that hurt me more than anything, and I still get it. You think I don't get DMs every day saying you're house robbing tramp? Of course I do, lad.
Really, even now?
Yeah, even now I still get it, lad. Fuck. But this is the thing that pissed me off. Now I've come back to the gym, and at the gym owner's like, look, I need to speak to you. Sat me down, and he's like, look, mate, fucking your man's messaged us burglary and all of that one. He's like, we need to resolve the issue. And I'm like, we can't really resolve the issue because I'm not going back. And he's like, well, look, you don't have to go back, but we'll give back what you stole. And I'm like, I never stole nothing, mate. I'm not a thief. And he's like, yeah, I know that. I know you're not a thief. I know you're a good lad now. But like, whatever you took, can't you just give him it back? I'll help you. We'll get money together. And I'm like, lad, you don't get it, mate. It doesn't work like that. I didn't fucking rob no one. But when I spoke to Bruno knew. Like, I told Bruno the proper story. Like, this is what happened. This is what I used to do. And it was hard to convey to people that I'm not a house robber, lad. But they believe what they believe, bro, innit? So this is the maddest part. The guy who owned the gym, I don't like him, I don't get on with him, but at this point we were on a level, whatever, and I will give him his due for this because he went out of his way and done it. He went, I've got an interview at the British Embassy, come. And I'm like, nah, if I go to the British Embassy, I'm on UK soil, I'm getting arrested and deported. And he's like, well, I'm going to go on your behalf, can I have your permission? Do what you want, mate. In my mind, I've pulled out the fight, I'm just doing jiu-jitsu now. I'm like, fuck this. There's my block done, I'm never doing MMA, whatever. Lad, he's gone to the British Embassy and he's got a letter from the British Embassy to say that I'm not wanted. And we give it to the fight promotion and the fight promotion's like, the fight's back on.
Really, yeah?
Wow.
And I'm just like, lad, I don't even know how he got that. I don't know how he did, but he did. Yeah. So I'm just like, sick. Yeah. So I've gone back in there now. I fought this guy from Singapore, lad. He was short, stocky. I've come to the weigh-in, lad, because I've been training so hard up until the very final. The weight was just falling off me, lad. I'm just doing loads of cardio. I wanted to be in the best shape of my life. Because it was the foreign pride division, I didn't get to choose the weight class. There was only one weight class, and it was 70. And I'm probably a featherweight. I'm a 65er. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just do it anyway. Lad, I stepped on the scale, 69 kilos, with me fucking power bank in my pocket and my phone and that.
Power bank.
You know, one of them ones. And lad, he stepped on the scale looking like a crackhead, skinny. And I'm like, what? He's not, what? He looked massive in his pictures and that. The next day, lad, he was like that. Boom! Must have cut it. Good load of weight, you know what I mean? And lad, fight started. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to take him down from the off go, because that's what I do to everyone. I shot on him and he just went, get off me. Like he did. I got his hips, everything, and he just went. There was just a huge size difference. And he was just defending everything. He was winning the fight, like. And I've gone back to the corner. And lad, it was a 5-rounder. With 2 rounds in, let's say, or no, after the first round, I've gone back to the corner and I'm like, I can't take him down. And my MMA coach is like, head movement, change level, you'll get him. So I'm like, what, fuck, this is hard, this, gone back out there, tried to take him down, he's defending everything and outboxing me and that. So I'm like, fuck it, last 10 seconds of the round, I jumped guard and brought him into me guard, I'm on the bottom. Now in MMA, you don't do that, lad, because you get your head punched in. But I just thought, fuck it, let me see what his jiu-jitsu is saying. It's only 10 seconds, he's not going to knock me out. I've jumped guard and it was like, lad, it was like putting a triangle on a baby, lad. It was just like, boop, locked it and then started squeezing it. And I was like, oh my God, he's about to tap. There, timer goes and I'm like, I went back to my corner and my MMA coach just goes, what the fuck are you doing? Don't ever jump guard. You're going to make a show of us. And I looked at Bruno and Bruno just goes, and I'm like, I'm listening to Bruno. And I just went back out there, jumped guard, triangled, and fucking just submitted him, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, it was mad. And then I was like, what? I won the whole show, won the belt. On TV while I'm wanted and that.
That is mad.
That is nuts.
Look, crazy. So now...
Because it's proper, that's put out to millions of people, isn't it? Like the size of it in the knee.
That is mad. So now at this point, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to get me one championship contract now. I've left the cage. They've offered the contract to all the champions, but not me. So I'm like, wow, mad. So for whatever, I'm not asked, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. Then I've gone home, I've looked on me fucking Twitter. My Twitter was going crazy, lad, yeah. They've released a poster of all the champions, except me. So I'm like, wow, look, this is why I love MMA fans, you know. MMA fans are the sickest fans, because I'm about to kick into this promotion now and start going mad. And I'm just reading the comments, and every single comment was like, where's Shem? Where's Shem? Where's the English guy? Why no Scouser? Where's Darren Till's boy? Because they don't know who the fuck, do you know what I mean? So I was just like, go on, boys, lad. I kicked into them and was like, yeah, you just wouldn't put the best guy up there, knobheads, whatever, give it a bit of banter. Lad, they made a new poster immediately and put me up there, do you know what I mean? But look, people don't understand, yeah. Most people would be like, oh, that was a bad move, that. Bro, that was just better marketing. No one was speaking about any other champion, but the champion who wasn't included. So for me, it was just good promo. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to keep doing this MMA thing, it's sick. I made my pro debut. Fought, lad, it was mad. Made me pro debut. Sanchai was there.
Was he, yeah?
Sanchai was cage side for me pro debut.
The owner?
Nah, he ain't the owner. Do you know who Sanchai is?
No.
Don't you know who Sanchai is?
No.
He's like the best Muay Thai fighter ever. Get him up. So he was there, cage side. Bit mad, like he got paid more than any fighter just to be there. Whatever.
Did he?
He come in the ring afterwards and give me me trophy. You know when you win, lad, and you're just full of adrenaline.
Or Wayne Rooney fucking giving you the footy trophy.
Yeah, look, that's what it's like. Look, you see in Thailand, he's as big as Wayne Rooney, bro. Bigger. Yeah. He's big, lad. He's there giving me trophy. Lad, you know when you're just full of adrenaline, lad, you just chat shit, don't you, bro? I'm calling him out and that. I'm like, lad, you're coming to MMA. Oh. Look, no one understands what I'm saying, because when you, like normally you have to, like you have to speak like, yes, thank you everyone. Yeah. I've just went full Scouse mode. Sanchez just going when I'm like pointing at him and that, he's just like, Thank you, yeah, thank you. Made them do a face-off and everything, lad. It was weird, bro.
What did you think when you got back to the change? He's like, oh,
Lad, I just sat there like,
Nah.
look, me mate who was running the show, he's an American guy, lad, he come in and just laughed his head off at me. He was like, lad, you've lost the plot. He was like, you know, Sancho, I'd smash your head in MMA, anything, because obviously I'm only 1-0 at this point, and I'm like, I know, mate. I was like, fuck it, yeah. Then I had another fight, ended up taking a lightweight fight on short notice, submitted that guy as well, so I'm 2-0 now. I'm just doing my thing, getting ready to fight again. Wanted to carry on, just keep fighting as a pro. And
have you mixed up your training at this point now?
Oh yeah, I'm doing everything. I'm doing everything. So obviously, still jiu-jitsu based, still training with Bruno every day, still fully 2 feet in with him. And now I've heard through the grapevine that there's going to be like this new TV show. It's going to be like, have you ever seen Dana White Contender Series? Yeah. It's going to be like that, but there's more of a backstory to the fighters, and you get to meet them and whatever. So they were doing a tryout in Bangkok for one championship. So I thought, fuck it, you know what? I'm gonna go down to this tryout. They fucking dogged me last time. I didn't get me contract.
So with that's what I thought you were talking about before. Sorry. So the owner's Chattery, isn't it?
Yeah.
So did they just completely cut you out from the contract then? They just said no.
They just never offered me it. It's not like maybe they just. Yeah. I just weren't marketable enough. I'm a foreigner.
Yeah.
I didn't have the hugest fan base.
Yeah.
The show wasn't as big as it is today. So maybe they just thought, we've got enough of these guys.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was a personal thing. I think they just didn't want me at that point.
Okay, yeah.
I was 0-0 as a professional as well. So it would have been making me pro debut. Because I can say one
championship over there is like obviously elite, isn't it? But that's like big money, isn't it? So go from there. And
in my mind at this point, I did not care about the UFC. Loved watching it, but I didn't want to go there. I'm wanted. I can't ever go to America, and I can't fight in Europe. One championship's on my doorstep. Every single one of my training partners are all fighting in one championship. I'm one of these people, lad, if you are around me every day and I can see you pursuing greatness, it'll motivate me to pursue greatness. Like, I'll get motivation off those around me rather than going to Instagram and looking at Conor and going, yeah, I need to be where Conor is. Nah, I've got it here, lad. We're all bubbling off each other. So they're all in one. I wanted to be in one.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is the path for me. One championship are the only MMA show in the world that do hydration tests. So you are not allowed to dehydrate. You've got to weigh in
when you're making weight,
at your natural weight. You can diet, but if you diet too much, it'll fuck you up. So no one wants to diet. Everyone wants to dehydrate. So for me, it was perfect, because it's like, I believe in health and wellness, lad. I didn't really want to fuck my body doing all crazy weight cuts. And this is the reason why I'm not fighting at featherweight no more, and now I'm coming up to lightweight. Because how can I be this big advocate of health on social media and tell people, like, you need to train, you need to eat clean, but then lad, I make weight at featherweight, I pass out, I fucking lost my vision for a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, it's not good, lad. I shouldn't be doing that to myself.
One championship with trailblazing and that sort of stuff though, weren't they? That's why they were so
first promotion to ever do it.
They looked into, like, because I think I read a study as well, they were using before they were cool, I think they even used them in the they were using like DEXA scans, weren't they? So like,
do you know why they started it? Someone died.
Did they? Yeah.
A guy cut 10 kilos.
Yeah.
I think he was a Japanese guy.
That's fucking hell, lad.
Yeah, and died.
Yeah, because
so now they were like,
it's unregulated.
That's a lot, that, isn't it?
It's unregulated for a lot, mate. Even in the UFC, like, it's almost celebrated, isn't it? Like, the fact that if you can cut a lot of weight, it's celebrated.
Look, I used to make featherweight, and as soon as I get off the scale, I'd be like, yes, I've done it.
Yeah.
When I was on Paddy's podcast last week, Paddy was saying, like, he was like, it's impossible for him to stay at that weight for like more than like he said, I'm at that weight for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, because the minute you put water back in your body, it's just, your body will just cry for it. Basically,
if he dieted to his weight class, wow, he'd look like a smackhead. He has to dehydrate. Same way I have to dehydrate to make 66, lad, or 65.8.
We've said it on the sports show though, it's the biggest threat to combat sports.
It needs to be changed. Yeah. It needs to be changed. It's a stupid old mentality. Yeah. There's a lot of things in MMA that needs to be changed.
UFC still use the
10-9 scoring system. Needs to be changed.
Yeah. But they still use the old, just because it looks cool.
Yeah.
They still use the old scale.
When a digital scale is more accurate.
Yeah, but like
Charles Oliveira got robbed, bro.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Yeah. He should have defended his belt that day.
Like,
he
did to me.
People
are trying to hold the towel, like keep the soul off the scale. But yeah, there's that part of it that definitely is. But one championship, trailblazed, and in that time.
Yeah, so back to one championship. Now I've gone down to this tryout. It was in Bangkok, so I flew over to Bangkok and that. I'm there now at this tryout. There was loads of people there trying out for this show. It was the first episode of One Warrior series. If you look, there's loads of them now. Loads of people have come from it and come stars in one now. So the first thing you got to do, you got to hit pads with your coach. Then the second thing, like, there's only 2 couples on the mats at the same time, and there's 4 judges. There was Rich Franklin. Do you know Rich Franklin?
Yeah.
He was UFC champion. He lost the belt to Anderson Silva. There was another one championship fighter, Shannon Warachai, Shannon One Chin. We've all got one chin. Yeah. I think he's got 2 or something. And his girlfriend at the time, Rika Ishige, she was a one championship fighter. I think she still is. And there was someone else I can't remember. So they were the coach. They were like the panel of judges watching and picking who's good. So me and another guy at the same time, we both got to hit pads with our coach. Then after hitting pads, they put you with this other person to grapple. And they put me with this guy. He was a foreigner. He weren't an Asian guy. And they're like, Shem, we want you to be on the bottom, and we want this guy on top. And I'm like, sound. So I've got on the bottom in the half guard. And then I've said to Rich, underhook or no underhook? Do you want to give him the underhook? And Rich said, yeah, give him the underhook. So I'm saying, mate, take an underhook. And he's like, doesn't speak English, not very well. He's like, what? And I'm like, esgrima, that's Portuguese for underhook. So he's gone, shoo. And lad, someone just told me, like, the way he took the underhook was smooth and that. I'm like, I think this guy's a black belt. He's defo a jiu-jitsu guy. At this point, I'm thinking, yeah, cauliflower ears, short and stocky, the way he took the underhook. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to play jiu-jitsu. Where normally, in the half guard, I would have went back to the closed guard and started attacking. I'm like, I know what I'm going to do. As soon as they say go, I'm going to scramble up to my feet, explode as much as I can and disengage. They've said go, bam, I'm up. And he's like, you bastard. So I'm like, what's next? Like, I'm confident, me lad. I'm just like bossing the gap, like, what do you want me to do now, Rich lad? Yeah, go on, son. Nice Rich one. Lad. So yeah, I am, lad. So I'm down, boom, back in the half guard. Give him the underhook again. Go, boom, popped up, escaped. I'm like, yes. I'm like, do you want me on top now, Rich? He's like, yeah, go on, yeah, get on top. I've took the underhook. Now I knew in my mind, I exploded like crazy to get up. So now he's gonna do the same thing. So I'm like, I'm not gonna play into that. When he does, I'm gonna like try and snap the front headlock down or attack a guillotine. And he did exactly what I thought he'd do, left his neck on the way up, and I just went, boom, high elbow guillotine, tapped him. I was like, yes, go on. Same position again, boom, tapped him. When he jumped up, he started trying to punch me in that. And I'm just like, whoop, 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 and then ran up, and then like I did like a little run away, do you know what I mean? And I'm just like, and he's like, no, again, no, again, no, again. And Rich is like, mate, we've seen what we needed to see.
Wow. It's
done now, mate, go back. And he's like, no, please, one more chance, please, one more. He's calmed down, whatever. I just fucking squidded off. Yeah. He's calmed down, he's come over. And he's like, thank you, brother, yeah, good stuff. I didn't mean to, I just come here to train hard. I'm like, yeah, of course, man, I get it, bro, fucking hell, lad. And he's like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from England, lad. He's like, oh, cool, I'm from Brazil. I'm like, I thought you was, lad. Yeah, man. He's like, you black belt? And I'm like, I'm a blue belt, me, you know, bro. And his face just dropped. He's just looking at me like,
don't tell anyone about this.
I'm like, why? What belt are you? He's like, I'm a 3rd degree black belt.
My God.
I was like, wow, mad.
So hell,
afterwards,
confident that must have given you.
Yeah. Walking on water,
yeah. I think that's what it is, though. You know, in this scenario, you can either rise to the occasion or the occasion can get the better of you. And I've been in a situation where the occasion's got the better of me, and that was in Abu Dhabi. So I was like, I never wanted to do that again. I never wanted to put that pressure on myself again. So I just come in now, in everything I do, I'm confident, bro. Like, I don't know if it's part of my character or I don't know what it is, bro, but I just felt like I was more confident than him, and that maybe helped me use my tools better than him. Maybe he's better than me. Maybe if we go to the gym, he submit me 100 times. But if you can't,
moment,
if you can't do it under the lights, then it doesn't mean anything in this game.
Yeah. There's that old adage, especially in boxing, about like gym fighters and stuff like that. But as soon as you you get to the ring, it just doesn't translate.
I know guys who, I'm not going to name no names, but you go to the gym and you watch them get beat up, and you're like, lad, he's getting smashed by beginners and that. And then they go to the fight on the world stage in front of fucking hundreds of thousands of people, and I'm like, where they're going, it's a tough one. He's not going to beat this guy. He's fighting so and so. And go out there and knock him out in the first round.
I think the same in like football. I think I remember hearing rumour like Dietmar Hamann used to be like shite in training.
Yeah, smoking bifters.
Yeah, and like smoking and had a pint midweek, and then he'd always be the first name in the team sheet. Don't you know what I mean?
It's different. It's definitely what you say. It's definitely a mentality thing, because
I think it is.
It's like it's the fight or flight thing. When you're in a gym, you're like, you're good friends with the people you're in there with. Yeah, it's competitive or whatever, but it's not. Like,
you don't want to hurt no one.
He's trying to take me head off.
Yeah.
But when you're in that
some people do.
Yeah.
Some people don't know any different though. That's just their style.
But when you're in that moment or whatever, or when the cage door closes, or the ref says fighting boxing or whatever, it is fight or flight, isn't it? It's like either I'm either going forward or
I've seen the opposite. I've seen guys who are world class, and I'm like, lad, this guy will smash me 10 times out of 10. And then you go and watch them fight, and they're getting beat by shit guys who you know from the scene, and then you look at the record and they're like 0-7, and you're like, oh, am I getting smashed every day by a guy who's 0-7? Some people just can't do it. It's not for them under the lights. Do you know what I mean?
It's like that. Some people made loads of money from being really good sparring partners, though, to be fair, in boxing. Like, if you
good on them. You don't really get that in MMA, sadly,
but like especially in like when Klitschko was putting camps together, or Joshua does it now.
Yeah.
You can go in, you can get paid a few quid each week just to be a sparring partner.
Yeah.
So what happened? Then you obviously have this lad off.
Yeah. So now I've gone back to the hotel, and I'm just waiting for waiting back to the hotel. I've gone straight backstage. They've come over to me and they're like, look, we like you and we want to fucking give you the contract. I've got a picture here now, I'll show you, of me and Rich Franklin and that.
Oh, yeah.
You look so young.
Yeah, proper young.
Franklin's in good shape, to be fair.
Yeah, no, do you know what? He's a little unit, you know. He was telling me he still trains and that. So anyway, they come backstage and that, and they're like, we like you. They only give 3 contracts out. They give one to me, one to a Thai girl, and one to a Filipino guy. The Thai girl was actually, Stamp Fairtex. So she got the contract when I did. She's gone on to be the kickboxing world champion, the Muay Thai world champion, and MMA Grand Prix world champion in one championship. So she's probably a millionaire now. She's got dough, like. But when I was there, she was there, and she was just like no one, and I was no one. Do you know what I mean? So they're like, look, lad, after here, we're all going for food. No, tomorrow, we're all going for food. We want you there, and we want to film some content. So you just chill, we have food, we all have a little laugh, and it'll be on the series, because they filmed everything like while we were training. It'll be on the series. So I'm like, sound, we've gone for food, got there now, Stamp's there, here and here team, the Filipino kids there, whatever. They're a bit like reserved, especially like she's a Thai girl. Thais are a bit like respectful and that. And me, I'm just like, what's happening, Rich, lad? You know, like, I'm like, yeah, lad, I saved you the seat, come here. me and Rich, look, I don't know why, but he loved me. Lad, he loved me,
because of that, lad.
Well, like, I'm asking him all mad questions and that, and then, lad, this was the craziest thing. He was asking me shit. He was like, so where'd you grow up? What happened? Wow. And he was like, lad, you remind me of my best mate, you know. And he was telling me about his mate, what's his name? I fucking forgot his name. Tarzan, his name is his MMA name. He fought my mate in one championship, lad. They had a fucking war. I only started watching that guy because Rich spoke about him. He was like, lad, you've got jiu-jitsu, you remind me of me mate, lad. You've got a crazy style like him and a crazy stand-up like him. So I was like, what? Me and Rich are vibing, lad. And you know us, lad, we're cheeky, lad. Like, I'm like, yeah, gives 2 of these, gives 3 of these, a big thing, and put it on Rich's bill. And lad, I'm just vibing with them, and everyone else is just like, lad, me and Rich must have spoke for about a good 25-30 minutes till they switched the cameras off and they come over and they were like, Rich, do us a favour, mate. Just have a little word with them as well, just so we can get some footage in. And I'm like, fucking hell, Rich, lad, do you know what? Forgot we were even being filmed, lad. I was like, go on, do your thing. And I'm like, holding me fucking tongue now so they can have a little go. Lad, he was asking me questions and I was just being honest, bro. Like, I've got no filter, I won't lie.
Yeah.
Like, I told him, like, yeah, this is what I used to do. This is who I used to be. And then I found martial arts, Bruno, this, meet story. And he was just like, what? Nah, I don't believe you, lad. And I was like, lad, look, showing him things, telling him things. And he's just like, wow, afterwards, everything's done. We're all going home and that. He's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going back to the hotel to smoke a few joints and that. And he's like, nah, you're not. You're coming with me. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're coming to my hotel. So I was like, come ahead then. I've gone back to the hotel with Rich and that. He's put this fucking ring light up, put the camera in, sat me down, fucking got all these mics, whatever, all the people there. And you know when that ring light's in your face, you can't see nothing. You can't see the room. But there was loads of people, all the One Championship staff in the room. And he's like, look, what you just told me at dinner, say it again. So I just told him my story, like where I'm from, what I've been through, my family life, my ma, Bruno, coming up, what I like, jiu-jitsu. And lad, at the end, lad, I'm just going on, lad. At the end, they've switched the camera off, lad, and I've just looked around, lad, and everyone's crying, bro. Oh. I'm just like, wow.
Never seen anything like it before.
I'm like, no. Wow, this is mad, this. And look, Rich is like, lad, I'm going to make you a star. This is what he was telling me, bro. He's like, you are going to be the champion in One Championship. I am going to make you a star. He's like, you can already fight. So, look, this is the plan. You're going to fight a few guys you can beat. Then you're going to have a big test. Then if you come through the big test, you get fight for the title. And I'm just like, lad, I'm 2-0. Fucking fighting for shit money. Thinking like, what? But they're like, look, we need you to sign this non-disclosure agreement and sign this contract and that. You can't discuss how much you're making. And I was like, I'm making more than the other ones that you signed. And Richard's like, yeah, you're but shut up. Go on, sign it. So I'm like, well, I'll sign it. The lad, like, big contract, didn't have a clue what it was. But I'm thinking, fucking, I'm on the run anyway, lad.
That's the massive thing. That like Rich found the UFC Hall of Famer, like all these people are putting all, and is that still in the back of your head? Like I'm no.
Do you know what?
Be a day away from getting
do you know what, lad? It weren't nothing.
Nah.
Honestly, it was just like when you speak to him, he's just another guy.
Yeah.
So it was just like.
No, I mean it's just that, like, obviously when people are on, like, even when you were doing a jiu-jitsu tournament, for example, when it's like say a lower level. But now all these, like as I say, UFC Hall of Famer, all the staff are there and stuff like that. You're now operating on a whole new level, professionally.
Yeah.
And it's just...
I'd had a glimpse of it before because all of the lads were with One Championship.
Yeah.
So all the lads had been like bringing videographers to the gym, people coming to film them, and on their highlights on the One Championship, I'd be in the film rolling with them or sparring with them. So I kind of knew the team already from that kind of. So they'd be like, oh look, there's Aguilan's mate, or oh look, there's Kian. So it was kind of like we're all on the same scene. So it weren't uncomfortable. It weren't my first ever step into that world, kind of. Plus, I'd already been on that TV show before, and that TV show was linked with these, so it was I was comfortable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm not a shy person anyway. I don't really get shy. And I've always said this, lad, like the life that I've come from to what I do now, this is easy.
I'm
like,
surprised.
Yeah, the transition was like, don't get me wrong, fighting's hard.
Yeah,
and it's taxing on the body, and there's days where you don't want to do it, and you got to push yourself to do it. But I had no choice before. Like you couldn't just wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm not going to make any money today.
Yeah.
Because you don't eat, lad, or your graph phone fucking goes dead. So I was doing what I was doing. Now I'm doing something I actually enjoy, and it's easier. So I was like, lad, this is. I get in the cage and I don't be like, oh, I'm fighting.
It's like you've already won, haven't you? So this thing is like, boss, happy days, whatever. So I'm already winning. So
now I've come back to Malaysia.
Did you sign the contract, did you?
Yeah, I signed it. It's like, fuck this, whatever. I didn't even read it. I just seen how much money it was and went, yeah, go on, I'm there. Got back to Malaysia now, vibing, everything's good, whatever. Get a phone call. Hello. We've seen all the articles online and we've been in touch with Merseyside Police. Next hurdle. They were like, we're going to have to terminate your contract, mate. And this is the reason why now I don't hate them. They done whatever they had to do. That was best for their brand and best for them. But the thing that I don't like what they done was they had a copy of my passport and they sent it to Merseyside Police, and they told me over the phone, they were like, we've sent your passport to the police. I said, why have you done that, mate? And they went, well, they didn't say we were obligated to, but they asked for it. So if you weren't obligated to do it, why did you fucking do it, bro? Why would you do that to me, mate? And then what, you're gonna get me fucking blocked from travelling places, mate? What are you doing? You're gonna get me passport, fucking I'll go to travel somewhere and it'll get took. I'm like, why have you done that, mate? So that half pissed me off, but the fact that they dropped me, I get it, lad, you gotta do what's best for you in this life. What could they have done? Brought me on the show, had me fighting
even there. Despite you telling them the story though,
No, you're gonna. Yeah.
I didn't tell them that bad. You know what I
It's
mean? I
okay.
didn't say, "Oh, I'm wanted by the way,
Yeah.
me lads."
If anyone in here works for the police, can
Yeah,
you stay?
yeah.
Can you,
Can you raise your hand now? I just didn't include
Right,
that
okay.
bit. So now this is where everything started to fall apart because my gym owner. This is why I was saying I don't really like him. Because at this point now, my gym owners like come to us. Like I think I fought another time. Yeah, I think I fought once or twice after that, like straight away back to back. And then my gym owners come one day like, look mate, you wanted one championship, don't ever want to sign you. So if one championship don't want you, you can't train here no more. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I can't be arsed with it no more, lad, you gotta leave. And just kick me out the gym, bro.
I think just the tough thing there is because obviously one championship's hard for people on this side of the world because we don't really have access to watching the shows all the time and stuff, but over there it's the ultimate, isn't it? It's like the whole scene revolves around it. So
The way I looked at it though, me, like I'd formed like a proper bond with my coaches and that. I'm living in this country where I don't fucking know anyone. I just come to the gym every day.
It's your family, innit?
Yeah, I'd been out of trouble, never been in trouble once since I'd left England. I'd really changed my life. I'm not about that life anymore.
Yeah.
He knew that as well. He knew, because he'd see how hard I was working. Okay, you don't want to sponsor me? Don't sponsor me, I'll pay.
fine, yeah.
I even said that, I'll just pay membership then. It's not an option. You can't. You gotta go. So now, I'm in Malaysia, gymless. Can't ever train with Bruno again. And no other gym in that country could facilitate us. I would have had to left. In the beginning, my mate, shout out to Simon, lad, the fucking soundest guy ever. He give his family's building, like he's got an office building, and put mats in there and was letting us train in there. And it wasn't the same, because like the lads in the gym, they're all going and training hard in the morning with Bruno, whatever. And then after their training's done, they're coming now to help me. And like they're tired, the energy's down, they just want to go home and refuel. So then I was like, it's not the same, boys. And through the grapevine, the gym owner must have heard about this, and he told all of them, anyone who's training with Shem, you're getting kicked out the gym. So now, these people have all got families.
Yeah.
I don't want to affect them. They can't earn money, and then they've got to go back to the favela or something, lad, and live a shit quality of life. I don't know, maybe what all of them were doing. But some of them are from Iran, some of them are from America, some of them are from Brazil, some of them...
Impacting their life.
Yeah,
through,
it's not fair. So I just told them then at that point, like, don't worry about me, just carry on, boys. We're still family, lad. It is what it is. So then I had a fight coming up on Prebellum in Dubai. So I had to make a choice then. Do a journeyman thing and just hit the bag every day in Malaysia and have nowhere to train, or do we just move on? So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to go and do the camp in Thailand. My mate was out there, Ben Royal. He messaged me and said, come to Phuket top team. To be a spot for me and that I can train and that. It's boss there, whatever. So I went over to train with Ben and them lads. I really enjoyed it. It was good. I did the camp for Dubai. Flew over to Dubai. And on the show, Darren Till was there. He was cage side. And I ended up getting a knockout in the second round. I knocked the guy out with a knee to the face. And it was like after that's when it like really blew up. Took a little picture with Darren afterwards, and that.
I think, yeah.
People are like, wow, who's this next scouser coming up? At this point I'm like 5-0 or something as a professional. My social media was bubbling. So then it was like, I need to make a real career decision here. I've got nowhere to train. I was loving Thailand, don't get me wrong, but at the same time it was like I nearly hadn't seen my family now at this point for like 7-8 years. I was a bit homesick and I didn't know what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to see my ma, so I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go to Europe, you know. I'm just going to stay out of England though. So I was like, where can I go that's closest to Liverpool, where the people are like Scousers? It's Ireland, innit? Fucking I'm going to Ireland, boys. In my mind, yeah, I didn't know no one in Ireland. I didn't know nothing about Ireland, but I knew McGregor's gym. So in my mind, I'm like, yeah, McGregor's gym's here. I'm going to go and train with all them. They're all savages and that. I'll go over there. It'll be sick. Went over there. Was training in McGregor's gym. Went over there. As soon as I got there, 2 days later, lockdown happened.
Fucking
Was
COVID.
it right at the start of the pandemic?
Yeah, 2 days after COVID started, lockdown. Didn't know anyone. Didn't know no cunts. Luckily, through a mutual friend, me mate put me on to the Cian Cowley. Cian Cowley's dad. Shout out to them. What's happening, boys? and they put me up in his mate's gaff. I was staying with them. They were taking me to the boxing gym, hitting pads and that, doing what we could throughout the lockdown. Everything opened up then, and I started training in SBG. And it's crazy, like for me this was like a real eye-opener, that because I'd only ever trained in Asia, I thought like the level is there and I'm there in my mind, do you know what I mean? And then I'm going there and I'm on the mats with like your Keane Cowleys, your Kiefer Crosby's, your James Gallagher's. Like when you look at them from the outside, they're all doing big things on Bellator, whatever, or maybe some UFC guys there, John Kavanagh, like you see him in Connor's corner. So I'm thinking like, man, I'm gonna get slaughtered every day. And then I was going to the gym, lad, and I'm just as good as them. Like I was putting work on.
I think that's like the social media production value.
Definitely, definitely.
It's like what I said before though, like because we don't have access to, like you do if you really dig for it, but you don't really have access in your face the way you have, you know, Bellator, Cage Warriors, UFC, for the Asian side of the game. So like people just think, oh, Europe's the hotbed, you know, America's the hotbed. That's what
I think Europeans get more opportunities by far.
100%.
And maybe there's some fucking serious killers out there, some Kazakhstan guys, some Kyrgyz guys, some Uzbek guys, some Dagestanis, but they don't really speak English. They don't have maybe the hugest.
Maybe.
They're not.
That's why Habib learns English.
And look what he's doing now with Eagle. Look, this is going to start bringing all these guys onto a bigger stage. They'll become a star on that show, and then the UFC will come and take them. Where UFC doesn't want to take them from where they are now, because they go,
we didn't make it.
People like Kamzat now are changing the dynamic for these guys to come through, and so they should, like, because it should be based on your skill set, not on how good looking are you, what passport do you hold, how well does he speak. Forget all that. We're fucking trying to kill each other in a cage.
For years and years it was pure, well, you know, a lot of it was English language, wasn't it? If you could speak English, then you were great. It's like, you know, you compare like what you're saying, Shavkat earlier, he doesn't really speak that good English, he's trying, but Hamzat speaks broken English that translates really cool, so like he just gets the big massive push, whereas in reality, you know, there's not much disparity between them, but it is all just being able to talk.
So now I'm in SBG. Was enjoying it there, was training, was getting good rounds with the guys, a lot of people my size. Like in Asia I was mostly training with bigger guys, like most of my training partners were bigger than me, so now I'm coming and training with guys my size and I'm feeling like, fucking hell, this is well better this. And then one day, lad, I just come to the gym and John Kavanagh's like, I need to speak to you in the office, mate. I walked in the office and there's my picture on the screen, my mugshot, lad. And he went, tell me. Now, John isn't one of us, lad. He's not from the streets. He speaks well.
Yeah, I've read his book actually.
Yeah, you can tell he
was educated and stuff.
Yeah, he's an educated guy. So I think maybe some of the things that I said, maybe he just couldn't understand them. Like, I did used to do this, John, but now I'm this. Well, you've done it. You're a criminal. Nah. And he just said, look, you know who I am, and you know who I coach, and that's why I can't have you here. And he kicked me out, bro. And then I'm like, in Ireland, don't know no cunt, got no gym to train at, and I'm just scratching my head like, what? And this is when, like, me mate who put me in touch with Keane and them, who was a mutual friend, I spoke back to him. His name's Andros. Shout out Andros. Do too many shout outs here.
They love him, mate.
Can I ask you, lads, on before you move on to like the kind of next gym you train with, the lads, is there a bit of you that feels like a bit like how to describe it, like a bit bitter and a bit like kind of, fucking hell, this isn't fair, or you're a bit more like, I probably deserve that for the shit I've done? Where are you on it? Like,
see,
it's a great question.
Yeah, there's times in my life where it's hit me hard and it's been like, it's either going to break me or it's going to motivate me. And every single one of these, I never sat down once and cried. I never once sat down and thought, I don't know what to do. It just lit a fire in me where it's like, okay, you don't want me. You will tomorrow. You will next week. Let me show you, mate. You want to know me next week. And I just used it as fire to motivate me. And maybe if I would have had an easy path, maybe I'd be a journeyman, lad. Or maybe I would have done 3 fights and went, I'm getting clout anyway, I'm getting sponsors, I'm not asked about these knobs. But the fact that I got doors shut on me was just like, I need to kick these doors down, and it just fueled me, lad.
When you get sort of SPG say, you know, you can't train here anymore, I know you do go to one more gym, but are you, even at this point, are you thinking might have to face up to the inevitable soon?
I've always told myself, when I take my first loss, I'm going to hand myself in anyway. So if I would have lost my first amateur fight, I would have handed myself in.
So at this point, have you never been beaten?
No, I was undefeated.
5-0
Yeah, 5-0 was professional, 4-0 was an amateur. Probably had about 150 jiu-jitsu matches. Probably only lost 3 of them. It was just on a tear, lad. It was just confident through the roof, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
and
crazy, it's like 2 lives, mate.
Yeah, and it's like I'm doing all these things, but I'm getting every door shut on me.
That's what I am. That's interesting. Be interesting to see like viewers and people on Patreon and comments and stuff, because I can imagine like meeting you now and like the vibe and your whole character. I'm definitely in a camp of like feel sorry for him when he's getting the door shut in his face. And I'm just wondering if the people like maybe like that John Kavanagh who may be listening,
he
watching,
deserved it.
Yeah.
It's split.
Yeah.
I've had it both sides. I've had people message me on, like, I've got a bit of a following. I have people message me and say, I've heard your story, lad, you don't deserve it. And then I have people message me off real profiles with the fucking pages on it and said, well, you did what you did, so you deserve it.
How do you feel about what you done? Like, I know you, not the jail stuff, but in terms of like, you know, you said yourself you were involved in stuff. Is there a part of you that thinks it's a bit of karma? Like,
no animosity to anyone, no animosity to the universe, nothing. Like, what I've been through is the path that I needed to go down to take me where I am today. I believe every single thing happens for a reason. Look at the situation I'm in now. I'm living my dream. Like, you couldn't give me a job now and I'd go on, I'll swap. You could not take me out of this city and put me in fucking Dubai, Miami, wherever. I don't give a fuck. I'm
every
happy.
boat's different, isn't it?
I've been watching this scene for so long, lad.
It's about purpose, innit? Like that journey you've been on's give you this purpose where you are now.
10 years I've been stuck on the sideline watching Liverpool going, wow, Paddy, Molly. Even amateur guys, I've been watching amateur guys who probably no one even cares about going, lad, he's good, him. He's got a skill set, him. I'd love to train with him. Or they don't realise how good they've got it. They're fighting on shows in Liverpool and the Olympia, and they probably go, oh, it's only the Olympia, it's shit. And I'm going, I'd love to fight in Liverpool, it's my fucking dream. And that's why this fight for me is the biggest fight of my life. I've fought in Dubai in big 6 stadiums with fucking loads of people. I've fought in Taiwan in big huge stadiums, main evented. Doesn't mean nothing's compared to this. It could be in someone's boxing room, lad, with 5 people watching, but it's in Liverpool, lad. It means well more to me, well more.
So actually,
I was going to say yes.
So you move on to one more team, don't you? In Ireland, Dublin.
So I spoke to my mate Andros, and I'm like, lad, fucking got kicked out by them, and I've got nowhere to go. And he's like, lad, I've been telling you about this guy anyway, Craig. Go and train with him, lad. And I'm like, yeah, I need to anyway. And I met the guy through social media, Dennis, through the lockdown, and he just met me in a park one day because we had nowhere to train because it was lockdown. And he just met me in a park and did jiu-jitsu with me. And afterwards he was like, I train with Craig and that, me. Why don't you come? So it just like slotted in. It was like, yeah, this is where I need to go. So I just went down there, lad. And lad, I didn't want to be how I was at SBG and not say nothing and then get kicked out. Because I've been kicked out of fucking me old gym in Malaysia, then now kicked out of here. So I thought, I'm not going through that again, lad. I fucking can't be arsed. It's fucking wrecks your head, lad. So I'm like, I'm just going to be straightforward now. So I told them, like, look, Collie, lad, fucking, I don't do that no more, but I used to be this, I used to do that, I'm wanted, blah, blah, blah. And Collie was just like, yeah, you're grand. He was like, lad.
Such an Irish flavour.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you're grand, don't worry about it. He's like, lad, we're all from fucking council estates, we got all types of mad cunts in here, lad, but when they come in here, there's none of that. You leave that at the door. If you're in here to train. And not only that, he was like, lad, where do you think all these kids in kids class are from, lad? They're all from council estates. If they come in here and they see you doing well and they see you don't want to do that anymore, they'll want to be like you, lad, rather than go out and fucking smoke weed and fucking sell drugs and whatever. So I'm like, sweet, nice one, Collie. So then I was just training with Craig and Collie and all the lads down at Dublin Combat Academy, and lad, it was just the gym for me, lad. It was just a proper vibe. The only thing I can say is it's a Muay Thai gym. So I didn't get much wrestling, I didn't get much jiu-jitsu, but maybe that's what I needed at that time, because I'm just a jiu-jitsu guy. Like, I used to fight strikers and go, I'm not striking, I'm only going to grapple. And then I used to fight grapplers and go, I've got enough striking to hit them, I'll defend and strike. Now I'm going in there going, I'll strike with strikers, I don't care to grapple with grapplers from before anyway. So I feel like it gave me a bit of a more rounded skill set, because I was just only doing Muay Thai every day. Working with them for so long, like I've trained in so many gyms, like in all over different parts of Asia, a few different parts of Europe. I have never, ever met a guy like Craig Coakley when it comes to striking. Like, I've been in Thailand with all the Thai guys. He's special. Like, he's different. He can box. Like, guys from the Irish fucking boxing national team come to get boxing rounds with him.
Really, yeah.
And he pieces them all up.
Oh.
He puts them all on their ass. And he's not a boxer. He's a Muay Thai guy.
Yeah.
Like, you'd be sparring with him in sparring, and he'd be like, take me down if you want. And I'd be like, are you sure? Take him down, he pop back up. And you're like, have you done MMA before? Have you wrestled? No. He's just like a freak of nature or something, lad. He's a machine.
Born to do it.
Yeah, he's a machine. He can fight from orthodox. He can fight from southpaw. Like, you spar with him, and it's like, he gives you a look. Maybe he's working something specific, and as soon as you start to figure out what he's doing, he's not doing it anymore. Yeah. He's doing something else, and you're like, hold on a minute, I'm trying to slip off but now he's still catching me out. And then you start to figure out what he's doing. That, like, he's just got so many different. It's like you're fighting 10 different people, bro. Yeah. But he can just change character every time.
You want all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Same with, like,
yeah.
All that.
I think that's why you're definitely in the camp. Like, my first passion was boxing, but like now MMA as well. Over the years, but I think that's why it's evolving so fast, because there's no, like, once you think you've clocked the game, there's something else. Do you know what I mean? You look at Floyd Mayweather or something, in my opinion, you know, recently, you can go back, did clock the game because he understood how to negate every other opponent and every other style. But in MMA, you can't do it, because the minute you round,
you'll meet someone. Yeah, you'll meet someone who cleans your clock.
Yeah, and it's just, I think that's why it's growing so fast.
Yeah.
It's so competitive.
Boxing, how many punches is there?
Yeah.
What, 8 punches?
Yeah.
You can throw every punch.
It's just different.
Maybe there's different variations of the punches. Forget MMA, just look at one aspect of MMA. Wrestling.
Yeah.
How many takedowns is there?
Yeah.
Thousands. Jiu-jitsu, how many moves is there? Hundreds of thousands.
It's different styles of
never
wrestling.
ending. And even then, someone invents a new move that you've never seen before. And someone invents a new guard. Someone invents a new...
It's like Stevie Ray this weekend. He I don't know what, he submitted Pettis in the PFL with, I think they called it in the end like an inverted twister or something, but
class.
No one had ever really seen it. But
I've seen him do that before though. I think he done it in Polaris. Look, class. But he's another one. Why is he not a bigger star than he is?
Yeah, because he's a quiet guy.
Yeah, because he's just a humble, normal guy. He doesn't post much on social media.
He fought Paddy in Polaris, didn't he?
Yeah.
He submitted Paddy in
I'm like this with my man as well. What's his name? Paul Daly. Why isn't Paul Daly made
Paul Craig?
No, Paul Daly.
Like
he's retired.
Bellator,
He's retired.
Yeah.
But lad, why isn't he a millionaire? A multi-millionaire?
He come into MMA too early, because some of his fights, like they just.
But what about MVP?
Cage fighting, I know, yeah.
MVP's on the same kind of time period.
Yeah.
Why isn't he where? Lad, I just don't get it, bro. I just don't get it, man.
But I guess like Paul Daly and that, they were doing MMA when it was called cage fighting, or when it was sponsored by Nuts magazine, and it was all just taken as a bit of a joke. Do you know what I mean? But like,
he's a savage,
and if you could put them now when it's like, you know, it's celebrated almost, or you know, you have all the everything that goes with it, YouTube channels and that, these people would be millionaires. Yeah, it's crazy, but lucky. Well, you're not lucky, but you're in the right.
No, I am lucky, lad. I am lucky. I'll say it. I am lucky, because it would have been 10 years ago, lad. I wouldn't have been able to do what I'm doing, especially when I was wanted.
So when you said then you kind of hand yourself in after your first loss, obviously training with these new guys now, obviously a fight comes up.
Yeah, I got a title fight for a world title. It was up in Belfast, and it was like, we knew the risk, because you're stepping into UK. I don't like to call it the UK, but on paper it's the UK. It's still Ireland to me. You're stepping into the UK, so if police PNC me, I'm getting arrested. If any wind that I'm going to be there, I'm getting arrested. But I just said, you know what? If that's meant to be, it's meant to be. I promoted it like normal, lad. I didn't give a fuck. I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to show up and I'm going to fight, lad. It was during COVID, no crowd, best thing ever. Like, fighting with no crowd was different, and I loved it. Do you know what it was like? When the announcer calls your name and the crowd goes mad and that, you get a bit of like, and it gives you like, oh, come on then, let's fucking... Lad, I was just like, wow, look at them little drops on the ceiling there. Wow, let me count 1, 2, 3. Oh, we going? Come on then, lad. It was just a sparring session, and my coach was there. It was vocal. I could hear everything he was saying. Shem jab, bink, I'd throw it. Shem left kick, boom, I'd throw it. where the crowd's there, sometimes you miss a few instructions, or you look at your corner, like, if you're in a position where you can't hit you look at your corner, like, I didn't have to, I just felt like, this is nice. I ended up choking the guy out, taking his back, choking him out, and won the title. Mad.
That is mad, love.
Yeah.
Was you kind of, people on that circuit and stuff kind of knew you were fucking, maybe, was you the underdog in it? I mean, was it a big surprise?
I don't think I was the underdog for once.
Yeah,
I don't think I was, no. I think people knew, like, like, he's the real deal now.
You've kind of come under the radar, but not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
In the circles you haven't.
This guy's only ever competed maybe on his scene. I've competed on many scenes, then come to his scene. So maybe he's got more experience, but I've got more experience, if that makes sense.
Your rise is strange though, because I heard about you just through speaking to people about MMA before I'd even knew what you looked like.
Yeah.
Like your name was, I knew your name before I knew what you looked like. It was only when I started following your Instagram, I was like, fucking hell, that's him. That's what he looks like.
It's mad. I hear stories about myself from people, and I'm like, don't know where he heard that one. That one wasn't true. Some of them are though. But yeah, we've gone back to Dublin now. Fucking shout out to Collie. Fucking smashed it, won the title. And then it's like, do you want to defend your belt? Not really, but go on, we will. So yeah, I had the title defence in Belfast, and this is when I kind of half knew something was up, because I'm on the social media and all these mad fake profiles now were just like, it's like people were just creating loads of them. Loads. And they were all kicking in under the comments. He's a criminal. He's going to Belfast for his next fight. Police are going to be there. I've rang police. Bump, bump, bump. Like, even on my normal pictures, I had to restrict all profiles and delete comments, and it was fucking crazy. So I thought, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if I get there and I get nicked. And I got there, I fucking took my first ever loss. I fought someone from SPG as well.
I watched that fight last night, actually.
Yeah.
Do you think, lads, subconsciously it was because all this was on your mind? And
it's definitely in the back of your mind. Definitely in the back of your mind, yeah.
Can't go into them fights with baggage. Like, you just can't, can you? Like, it's
I'd be fucking shit scared enough going into a fight anyway. Yeah. But then knowing you're thinking, could get nicked here, there's all these people saying that police are going to be there. You know, you're fighting against your old gym, your old people, maybe you're not, all that shit in your head. I mean, that can't be good.
Yeah, it was a bit mad. Like, my ma was there as well. First ever fight she come to. I think it was an early stoppage for the title fight. I think he should have let it go on. I was still conscious. He did catch me with a good one. I'm not going to say he never caught me with a good one. I think the weight cut played a good part as well.
I was thinking that last time when I watched it. He looked really like drawn.
Felt a bit heavy and sluggish. Maybe I didn't respect my opponent enough because I trained with him. I thought I'd just do what I do to him in training. But it's not the same.
What's that feeling going against someone you knew?
Maybe really asked. Like, it was a bit mad at first, because it was like we're all in a group together on Instagram, and he's in the group. So we're all in the group chatting shit every day and that, even though I'm not in SPG anymore. Because he used to come to Dublin Combat Academy and do striking there, so I'd still train with him even when I got kicked out. So mad. So we're in the group chatting shit every day, posting memes and that, and slagging each other off and that. And then my manager calls me like, "You're fighting Nathan Kelly?" And I'm like, "Wow, that's mad, he's got the same name as Nathan." Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, "Hold on a minute, did you just say he's Irish?" "Nah, there's not two Nathan Kellys." I'm like, "Send me his topology." And then I looked and it was him. And I'm like, we're in the group, he hasn't even said nothing. So I'm like in the group chatting shit and that to see if he'd bring it up, and he never brought it up. So I was like, wow, mad. But eventually he reached out and was like, "It's nothing personal, you can't get a fight, I can't get a fight, I'm happy to fight you." And I was just like, yeah, do what's best for your career, lad. I ain't asked, I'm not going to hate you for it. And it's probably the best thing that ever happened to him, lad, because he went to Bellator after that. Huh?
I think I looked last night. I think he went to Bellator for one fight, didn't he? And he's popped back. And
don't know why they never give him another fucking.
No.
Don't know.
Yeah,
Bellator's a mad fucking show, lad.
Yeah, Bellator is like, so it's like the championship of but
they won't like that one.
No, they won't. But like they just run things.
Do you know what it
like
is?
Cage Warriors.
Look, Bellator America is good.
Yeah.
Bellator Europe.
Yeah, they just haven't they haven't been able to implement the same way they did it in America. But I think it's because of the likes of Cage Warriors who run.
Cage Warriors better than Bellator Europe. I'll say
it. So fighters from Europe will go, well, for example, if I go to Cage Warriors and put a run together,
I'm going
Graham
UFC.
Boylan, who runs it, he can get me in the UFC, or, you know, Paddy was champion there, went, Chris Fishgold was champion there, went, Molly went, do you know what I mean?
You can go to Bellator Europe and make your debut, oh no. You can't do that in the UFC, lad.
No.
And then you want to compare it to the UFC.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
It's like people like James Gallagher, who said that he really bought into it, didn't he? And it's probably to his detriment now.
Do you reckon?
No, but like
I thought he's done well there.
No, he did well in Bellator, but he really signed to them, didn't he? And he was like, you know,
they thought they were getting the next Conor McGregor.
Like, he's got pretty, like, similar tattoos and stuff, hasn't he, and all that stuff. They tried to, like,
do you know
really
what?
get behind.
I'm going to say one thing about him, lad. Yeah. Do you know when you look from the outside?
Yeah.
Like, he's brash. He talks shit on the mic. Lad, when I went there and met him, I thought me and him weren't going to get on. Lad, he's the nicest guy ever. He does not talk any shit. Proper humble. After training, he's like, can you show me that? Oh, look, I like to do this and that. And I was just like, what? Where's that guy on the telly?
I remember thinking that. I remember watching.
People are just trying to sell themselves, bro, to make money. And I get it, lad, because if you don't, you'll end up being a no one, bro. And then you get fed to 3 killers. You lose 3 fights in a row, and then the world doesn't want to know you anymore.
I remember seeing him get beat. I don't know who it was from. And it was his reaction to getting beat that made me... You know, I'm not a fan of him, but I would like to watch him and stuff.
I watch all his fights,
but
I
like
him.
The way he handled his defeat, like the way he went into the fight, you know, selling himself like McGregor. But then when he got beat, he was just
humble,
like,
took it on the chin.
He was like, I think even the interviewer tried to sort of make a roundabout excuse for him, and he sort of said, "Nah, I got beat there, like that. That's just is what it is. I'm sorry to my family who come out, and I'll get better." And then I think when you see that, you think, "Fucking go on, lad, have a go." Do you know what I mean? Like, get behind them. But yeah, moving on from obviously getting beat, is that then what happened?
Can I ask George as well, sorry, you know when you said your ma come to that, what was the first encounter with your mum like? Was that the first time?
I walked in the venue and she was the first person I seen. Can you imagine that? And it was full of thousands of people.
So you didn't see it before you got to the venue?
No, just walked in and there she was. I was like, wow, come here.
How'd you keep that together, mate?
It was hard, you know. It was hard, like.
Just before you, it's fucking mad, lad.
As soon as I got the loss, I just jumped out the cage and ran in the crowd and hugged me ma. And you know, because you got to raise someone's hand. I was like, get off me, lad. I'm going to see me ma first. Hug me ma and that, and then jump back in, and then he raised his hand then. And probably people were like, is he concussed? But they don't know, do you know what I mean? You don't know what I've been through, lad. And I hadn't seen me ma for fucking 10 years, lad.
So hard to deal with. I know, like, you know, but just emotionally, I know you're going for a fight and stuff and you've trained and that, but just emotionally stacking that together is hard, mate. Like,
yeah, it was like.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Probably shouldn't have been that way, lad, for the best performance-wise, but... I don't give a fuck, it is what it is.
You said then, obviously from your first loss, you were prepared to then
go home.
So
I was actually speaking to my cousin who ended up doing the jail, and that he's the one who always used to be like, lad, come home, hand yourself in, you've done loads now, it weren't you, I'll stand up in court and say you weren't there, you'll beat the case, So I always wanted to go back, but there was always something in the back of my mind that's like, you're not done yet, you've got more to do. Like, as soon as I took that loss, I knew, like, I'm going home now. And I didn't get to make the choice myself because I was still in Belfast. Went in the shop to buy a bottle of water, lad, and police just come in and we're just like, Shaquem,
that night or?
The next morning, first thing in the morning, right by where I was staying. They were just like, SHEM ROCK, don't move. And I went, ooh, not me that, you know, fella.
SHEM, don't move.
And he went, alright, mate. And I went, nah, go on then. Lad, you know what? I honestly felt like I could have ran and smoked him. I felt like I could have got away, but I thought...
Was there a biddy that thinks run?
My mate was with me, my mate said, lad, I'll fucking have it with him now and you get off. My mate would have took a charge for me, lad. He's a real one, do you know what I mean? He's a real one.
Do you think you were done with running now?
I just said to him, nah, it's cool, bro, just leave it, I'll just go. I just give him all... This police officer's dumb, like, because I give him me money, me phones, everything, like... I think if that was Scouse police, they would have been like, no, this is evidence. And they would have kept me fight purse and I would never have got that back.
No.
Give all my shit to me, mate. And then, fucking just got nicked. Spent 2 days in the Belfast police station. Matrix come and got me. Put me on the back of the plane like this with all civilians. I'm on the back of the plane, lad. I'm kicking this Asian guy in front. I'm like, bro, take a picture of me and put it on your Instagram, lad. And he's like, I can't. Fuck off, lad. I was like, tag me in it. And the Matrix like, oh, don't speak to him. I'm like, fuck, speak to who I want, lad. Oh, I'm going to jail anyway, mate. Leave me alone.
you know, you personally, lad, are you, I know you're kind of like laughing and joking about it now, but is there like a sadness in you to think that you've had 10 years there of like creating this new you? You've had super success, you've made some great people, and now you're fucking sitting on the back of a Ryanair flight fucking handcuffed. I mean, is there a period that's like, oh, fuck me,
Do you
man.
know what? I felt like as soon as I got off the plane and I was in Liverpool, it was like I'd never left. That's what it felt like to me a little bit. And it felt like the switch had been flipped and I'm just that guy again. That's what it felt like a little bit.
Straight back to the character.
That's what it felt like.
That makes me feel sad.
I'm in the back of the Matrix van. The Matrix vans haven't changed. They're exactly the same. The handcuffs are exactly the same. And I'm being fucking arrested by the police and it just felt like 2013, 2014, Shem. And I just was just like, you know where you're going and you know who's going to be there.
So are you straight then onto remand or into custody?
Straight into remand. I thought I was going to Old Course. They told me I was going to Old Course, and then I landed in Walton.
In the pandemic.
Yeah, years ago when I was young, I went into Old Course for my cousin with like 50 SIM cards, and I got caught with them. Yeah, and they barred me from the jail. So I think that's why I never landed in Old Course and why I landed in Walton. It was probably a blessing in disguise because Walton probably fucking better than Old Course anyway. Dirtier, grimier, but probably better.
I've done a talk in Walton, lad, for all the screws, lad.
Horrible. I hate them.
So when you get home then, did they tell you immediately, like, you know, you're looking at this, you're looking at a sentence, you know?
Yeah, every single person I spoke to told me to plead guilty. My legal team were like, so look, straight off the airplane, 2 days in the police station, show up to court, ask for bail, judge laughs at you, whatever, fuck off, you're not getting caught. Plead guilty or not guilty. I said to my legal team, we're pleading guilty. We're pleading not guilty. And they were like, I think we should plead guilty, you know. And I'm like, why? Because if you plead guilty, we can get you a deal. You haven't even asked me, did I do it or didn't I do it? And nah, lad, I'm not pleading guilty, bro. Fuck that. I'm going all the way. This is the way I looked at it. I get the same deal and plead guilty as my cousin, and I'd get 5 years. Maybe I do 2.5 of them on good behaviour, whatever. Get out. My career's done anyway.
Yeah.
I go not guilty, and I get 7 to 11, and my career's over anyway. And who knows? I could plead guilty, get a 5, end up in there, and end up fucking doing someone in and getting extra time. I don't know, lad. You don't know how things can be in there, lad. So I just thought, fuck this.
Fucking end up choking everyone out in there, lad.
I just thought, fuck this. I'm running trial. I don't give a fuck. I'm going all the way. And it was mad, because we got to the court, and me solicitor was like, she wasn't like me prop solicitor. She was just there on the day. She worked for the firm. She was like, Your Honour, we're putting in no plea. And I just looked at her like, I fucking said not guilty. Why are you putting in no plea? Because I've got no paperwork. I don't know anything about the case. And then I'm just thinking, you don't know anything about the case and you just told me to plead guilty back there.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, wow, this system is absolutely fucked, mate. So,
That's so bad, that, lad.
remanded into custody. Fucking, they've given me a court case to come back in 6 months. So I'm going to guarantee do 6 months in jail. And then we're going to go back to court. So, obviously, landed on the wing, whatever. Fucking, one of my boys got me a phone in there, whatever. Boom, I've gone on to me people. Rang my manager, spoke to my manager, being like, look, lad, look, this is why my manager's a proper real one, you know. Told me manager, like, everything, what I've just told you is, my manager's like, nah, fuck them. I'm getting you a barrister. Don't worry, I'll sort it. And he went and got me this woman, lad, Blondell Thompson. She works, like, doing big cases and that, like fucking murder and shit like that. She doesn't really work with, like, my case is a little case to her. She doesn't really work with them cases. And he went and got her for my case, lad. Do you know what I mean? He didn't have to do that, lad. Most managers would have seen your man's gone to jail and
Washed their
went
hands off you.
on to the next star.
Next athlete,
Who else have I got? He never, lad. He put his own money up for bail. So if I would have got bail, he would have given the money in, and if I would have ran, he would have lost his money. He put his own money up, like, to be fair. Not many people that do that, you know what I mean? Obviously,
not in that game.
You get a second chance at bail. Obviously, mine got denied. Both of them did. The police are horrible, because the police said to the court that I travelled the world on a fake passport. I used my own passport everywhere I went. So they were like, because you travel the world on fake passports, we're not giving you bail, because you'll just get a different passport and get off. Because when you get the bail, you give your passport in and you sign on to the police station every day. So they were like, you've got the means to run away, so no, you're not getting bail. So I never got bail. I'd done me six months in jail, and then I come to court, lad. And it's like, I'm in court now and I'm thinking like, what? I'm on the bus on the way to the court. Like, it's mad. You're up late at night reading your deps, reading your shit. And it's like,
What sort of your deps, yeah?
like all your deps is like all your paperwork of the witnesses' statements, what evidence the police have got. Lad, I'm reading the deps and it's like, I was never mentioned in any of the statements, but then the witness come back 18 months later and then mentioned my name in a new statement. So that's like me saying, you robbed me, and then 18 months later coming back and saying, actually you was there as well. And that's when I got mentioned. So I'm like, what? So some days I'd sit there, read it, and I'd be like, lad, I'm going home, me lad, fuck this. But then some days you read it and you read some other shit and you're like, I'm getting
overload of
I'm
information,
getting slammed. Because it is a big fucking big, especially when like the police report what they say about you and that, you're thinking, nah, this ain't going well for me, this, mate. And it was, lad, I'm on the bus to court. There's these other lads who are going to court, they're on like a murder trial, and I'm speaking to the lad, and he genuinely never done the murder. Fucking mad. He genuinely never done the murder, but he had the bike that someone was done the thing on afterwards. So he got nicked for it, and prints all over the bike. It was you then, innit? Gun residue, whatever. Mad, look, mad one. And they've been on like a 3-4 week trial. I'm only on a 2-3 day trial. So they've been there every day for weeks, lad. And I've come into the cells and I'm just like, lad, they're building joints in the court cells, fogging joints, the court screws are coming there like, fuck off, lad, go away. Big passing me joints, and I'm like, lad, my head's gone, I don't want nothing. And they're like, lad, what's up with you, bro? You looking at everyone? I'm like, yeah, lad, I'm looking fucking 7 to 11. And they just looked at each other and started laughing. And I'm like, why, what are you looking at? They're like, yeah, we're looking at like 40 years or something else, bro. And they're only young, they're about 19, bro. And I'm just like, wow. Anyway,
different world.
I've told them my shit and that, you know what I mean? They've told me theirs, I've told them mine, whatever. And they're like, lad, just plead guilty, take a deal. And lad, I'm sitting there now, look, no word of a lie, sitting there listening to them. He's like, lad, you're definitely going to get found guilty. You're definitely going to get found guilty. We are. He's saying, we never done it, but we're going to get found guilty. Welcome to the system, brother. He's like, just plead guilty and get a deal and you'll be out early. And I lad, do you know what? I pressed the buzzer, court screw come, and I went, tell the court screw I want to speak to me solicitor. I was going to change my plea to guilty, bro. Sat back down, and then he's gone, the only thing is, you'll never know what if.
Oh.
And I just went, fucking
the last
hell.
thing you need.
Yeah. I went, court screws come back and said, your solicitor's there. I said, tell her to go back up. Fuck it, tell her to go back up. I said, he's right. I'm going to plead guilty now, and for the rest of my life, I'm going to be sitting here going, imagine if I would have ran trial, and I would have been a fucking top MMA fighter, and I would have went to the UFC, where I done my jail, got out, and then nothing ever happened with my life, and I'm fucking working in McDonald's. Nah, not me, bro. I'm going out on my sword, or I'm coming out the other side. So I thought, fuck it. Lad, it was mad. It was mad. So I'm in court now and that. Witness is there. Witness showed up to court after fucking 10 years, lad. Knowing what he'd done as well, because he was a criminal himself. He was being paid to stash drugs. He was a criminal, and he said that in court. He said everything. He said he was being paid by me Cody. He was a criminal. He said he was in fear for his life. He got relocated to the witness protection. While he was in witness protection, this little scruffy cunt, he ended up burgling a house, and he got kicked out of witness protection. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Ended up landing on the wing in jail, and someone cut him. He ended up getting cut in jail, this guy. So now he's fucking walking around the streets. Police don't protect him no more because he's a criminal, do you know what I mean? And he's standing in court behind the curtain, trying to play the innocent man, like, oh, I'm in fear for my life. I felt like they're going to kill me. And I'm just thinking, what? People don't kill people for weed, lad. Fucking go away, bro. That's what it was, the stash. It was a weed stash. And he's saying all this mad shit and that. And that, it's like he's dumb or something, lad, because it's like the court asks him, my barrister asked him a question, like, how do you know my Cody? And he's like, oh, he's my mate, we were mates for years and that. And they're like, so if he's your mate and you know him, but he's this dangerous guy who you're scared of, why would you do this for him? And he's like, oh, I just wanted some money. And then look, this is where he fucked up. They were like, so you've admitted it, that you were holding drugs for this man. Someone's kicked your door off and entered your house. When someone's kicked your door off and entered the house, they've stole that drugs, and that's why you believed so-and-so was going to kill you. So you went missing, correct? And he went, yeah, correct. this is what finished him. He went, on the night that Mr. Rock and his co-D allegedly entered your flat, how did they enter? Did they have a spare key? Of course me co-D had a spare key, lad. He was a fucking weed stash. And he went, no, he never had a spare key, lad. Okay, he should have, lad. It was probably the right thing to do if he wanted to get me convicted. But this is where he fucked up. He went, did he break entry? No, he never broke in. So how's it a burglary, lad? So how did they enter? And he went, oh, the door was unlocked. And my barrister just went, so you're telling me your door's just being kicked off and your drugs are being stolen and you're scared of these criminal figures who are going to kill you and you're sleeping 3 a.m. with your door unlocked? And he goes, yeah. And look, I just looked at the jury and the jury were just looking at him like, are you a knobhead? Lad. So now my barrister goes, when these people have entered your flat, he's your mate, isn't he? Yeah, we were mates and that. So when he's entered your flat, what type of vibe did he enter on? And he went, just on a chilling vibe, really. Look, I just looked, I'm going home, boys. He's a fucking sausage. And I think he shot himself in the foot because, over 10 years, the story's changed. Yeah. He doesn't remember because he did put lies in there, lad. It wasn't a burglary, no one did rob him. He got robbed for fucking the weed he had. It was a bit of a mad one, lad, but I looked at the jury, lad. There was this woman on the jury, the first day, and she's like smiling at me, like, and I'm thinking, is she letting on to me?
Give me the looks, lad.
So I'm just being like, trying to be like, no, be proper, you're in court and that. I had a suit on and that, giving it the fucking I'm a normal civilian vibes. And I'm like, oh shit, is she letting on to me? Lad, on the last day. So, boom, everything's done. Jury are going to give their verdict. They send me down while the jury go out and then the jury all argue. It's 4 o'clock. I've gone down and the court screws are like, you're coming back tomorrow, mate. And I'm like, no, my day's done. The jury are out now. And they're like, mate, the jury are going to be up there arguing for fucking 2-3 days, mate. You're going to come back because half of the room are going to say he did it and half of the room are going to say he never done it. They want to come to like a unanimous fucking...
Has it got to be everyone agrees?
Not everyone, but I think it's...
Can be one or
yeah.
two,
So I'm thinking, oh, fuck me, I've got to do this again for days, lad. I don't even like wearing a suit. I'm coming in a trackie tomorrow. I'm thinking, fuck this. Lad, they've called me up after 20 minutes. Called me up and I'm like, what's this about? I've come up and they're like, the jury have got a question for you, Mr. Rock. Blah, blah, blah. I can't even remember the question. They've asked me a question. When they've asked me that question, I knew in their mind, for them to ask me a question, there's reasonable doubt. The judge says at the very start, if anyone has any doubt in their mind, you cannot convict this man. You have to be 100% certain that he committed the crime. If you're 99% certain, you have to say not guilty. So I knew when they asked that question, at least half of the room.
What did they ask you?
I can't even remember. It was something dumb.
But there's some doubt.
Something dumb, lad. Something not even that's important. But I knew.
Yeah, there was doubt.
Yeah. So I'll come back down to the courts with them other lads who are on the M charges, like, I'm going home, boys, I reckon. And he's like, yeah, you can't. Lad, within 25-30 minutes, the whole jury unanimous not guilty. Every single one of them.
Wow.
When you get that, and like, obviously wrapping up and where you're going, when you get that, is it like, fucking hell, that is the
biggest weight lifted off my shoulders.
Is the like
ever.
An emotional thing where you're like, it's gone, like it's gone out of my life.
Mad. I just felt like fucking screaming at the top of my lungs, you little snitch. Nah, I just felt like going mad. My whole family just jumped up like, yeah! All my family were there, like they all started going mad. They're just like, fucking shut up, or whatever he says. And the woman...
Could you walk home out that court that day?
Walked straight out the court, walked straight to JD, threw my suit off, brand new trackie, boom, fresh in Liverpool, just like...
But more to the point, like, how quick after that did you think, obviously now you're not guilty and like you can live your life as a free man, at what point was like, I can go and train and go to where I want to go?
First thing I wanted to do was just go to the gym as soon as I left. It was a weekend, so I just waited till Monday. I literally went home, ate food, went on a run. Waited till Monday and just went straight to the gym, lad, straight to Next Gen.
Had you been training in prison?
Yeah. So when I was in jail, it's a bit mad, lad, yeah. We were only allowed out of our cell half an hour a day.
Because of the pandemic and stuff?
Yeah. And then in that half an hour, you got to do your kiosk, order all your food for the week. You got to get your shower. And if you want to train, you got to train then. They never opened the yard for like 3 months because they were building scaffolding. Scaffolding was long gone, lad. They they just fuck with you in there, you know, bro. On the days where it's like open you for gym, they know I want to train, lad, you're on it. So maybe they come to my door and they just go and open the next one. And you're just like, why didn't I get open for gym? Oh, it was full. Do you know what I mean? They just, lad, the power that they have for them, because they are, lad, when you see them, they're all mad little bully victims, lad. Some of them are cool, some of them just do the job. But to me, lad, if you do that job, lad, you haven't got morals, bro, because some of the people in there, lad, are just robbed by the system. Like, I was in there with a guy who got 5 years for selling edibles. He's lost 5 years of his life for selling edibles. And you know what he told me? Do you know why he got 5 years? He got 5 years, and he was a normal university guy. He was on the wing, like, didn't fit in. He wasn't one of the lads. He was out of town, posh, long hair. He said, I was selling edibles to the lads in university so I could have free weed smoke. And when he went to court, the court said he was marketing his edibles to children because the packages had colourful logos like Starburst and Revels. He's like, lad, I've never sold drugs in my life and I never saved a child. I was just selling it in uni to the uni students. And then there's rapists on the next wing who have touched 25 kids and got an 18 months fucking sentence and he's back out. And you know what the difference is? When we get out of jail, we got to go to a hostel, go to probation. But you see them rapists and them nonces, they're in fear for their life and their life's in danger, so they'll get relocated, a new identity and a house immediately. They don't have to go to a bail hostel. Lad, it's fucking disgusting.
The system is broken.
Lad,
yeah. But now so now you're in next gen on the Monday, you're not guilty, you're a free man, you've got all this experience behind you, and now we're here, obviously present day. Is the ambition, obviously one championship is water under the bridge, but is the ambition UFC?
UFC, 100%.
As a lightweight?
Whew.
What did you say? Did you say featherweight before?
Yeah.
I thought you said you...
No, I'm up now.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I thought you said you were staying at lightweight, but look...
I will, but for how long, you know? Like, if I go to the UFC, and lad, I can't be fighting fucking people the size of fucking Dustin Poirier and that who are coming in the cage at 86 kilos. Lad, I find it hard to get bigger than 77.
I mean, the ultimate, they do need to plug a few gaps in the UFC.
I wish there was a weight class at 68. It'd be perfect for me, that. It'd be perfect.
Darren Till's got a similar thing, hasn't he? With welterweight and middleweight. But
I think he's a big middle, though. He's not a small middleweight.
No.
But I'm not. I'm a huge lightweight or a small... I'm a huge featherweight or a small lightweight.
Yeah.
Where Darren's like a huge welterweight, a decent sized middleweight.
Yeah.
I haven't got that. If I go up, it's like...
And at that level, it's... you can't give things away. Can
you fuck?
Like not even small margins like that.
You know, training with like the likes of Paddy and all them in there and Molly and everyone. Did you notice with all the places you've trained all over the world? I mean, did you notice like big differences or like the talent? Or I mean, how was it?
It's a good gym, good standard of guys. I feel like their approach is a little bit different to the approach I was brought up on. Like, there's an MMA gym, so all they do is train MMA. Where I was taught disciplines individually. So I was taught boxing by itself, I was taught Muay Thai by itself, I was taught wrestling by itself, I was taught Jiu-Jitsu by itself, and then I'd have it linked together by my MMA coach, so to speak, where they're just going in every day and doing pure MMA. Maybe in the evening they might do Jiu-Jitsu, or maybe they might go outside and have their own boxing coach, but it's predominantly an MMA gym who just focus on MMA, and that's when you see different concepts, because something you do in Jiu-Jitsu, you might not have the same concept because now there's punches involved, where in Jiu-Jitsu you don't have to worry about punches. So I can see the different styles, but I'm one of them. I'm a student, I'm a martial artist. I am athletic and I am an athlete, but I'm a martial artist first. I want to one day go on to teach. I want to one day to go on and pass my knowledge on. So I feel like when people come with different concepts, I love picking the brain. Why would you do that? When would you use this? But what about, I like to do this? No, but this is why you shouldn't do that. In MMA you can do this, in Jiu-Jitsu you can do that, in wrestling you might want to do this. And I love all that, because one day I'm going to have my own students, and you might want to be a pure Jiu-Jitsu guy, you might want to go on and do MMA. So maybe I can teach us both, but maybe the concepts will slightly change for each sport.
It's like, listening to you about MMA is brilliant in itself, but your story's great, and like, I just have this overwhelming feeling that you're like someone you needed. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're a man who, like, a kid of you needed. Do you know what I mean? Like,
but now that's my thing. Now that I need to do that for the next generation of people, but it's hard.
I think you're a prime example, lad. I do obviously the motivational speaking, and one of the cheesy lines I kind of say, but it rings so true when listening to your story, is like, you know, you are the company you keep. Do you know what I mean? You are a product of your surroundings, and I feel like the first half of your life you've been unfortunate by, you know, the system for a lot of it has been your surroundings, which has failed you. Probably some of your own choices as well.
No, yeah, I can't.
You know what I mean?
I hold my hands up, lad.
Yeah.
No one forced me to do nothing.
But I think the second part of your story, again, it's your surroundings, but it's been positive choices that you've made.
Yeah.
And you just see the fucking difference.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's like everyone in life. Maybe not as extreme as yours, but you know, you are a product of your surroundings, and you've seen the negative side of it, and you've seen the positive side of it.
This is what I try and preach, lad. Like, if you say people who come from the background that we come from, if you were to put them in that environment where they've got to work hard in the gym, lad, some of the shit that you see, like maybe like growing up, some of my mates, the mates were smoking crack in front of them, or they never had a mum or dad, or they were in and out of hostels, or they used to run away from fucking boarding schools and go missing for 10 weeks. Like, if you can do that as a 12-year-old, as a 19-year-old, you can go to the gym and fucking, and it'll be easy for you, lad. As long as you enjoy it, you'll progress go so far in this sport. I think this sport should be pushed on lads who come from the streets, because they'd take so much from it. Even if they don't want to do it as a career,
It's just
mentally, I leave that gym. Some days I show up to the gym and I'm like, and then when I leave, I'm like, what was I stressed about, lad? It's gone. Forget it.
And it's the stuff like you say with your coach. A lot of people who, you know, I'm from a council estate, you're from Bootle, and you're from LA. Like,
no mentor, no role model.
Like, I thankfully did, but I know people who, they never had no one say no. They never had no one say, you're not doing that. Like, you're doing this. Like, and like you said with the push-up stuff, if someone to say to him, like, you're answering to something. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've got to be responsible for your action in some way. And I think that's what MMA, boxing, and all combat sports, that's the gap it can plug, especially in the younger generation. Because if it's drilled into you at 7, 8, not fighting or, you know, competing, but just the discipline of it, or you know, respecting other people. Before you know it, like when you go to school, you might respect your teacher, or instead of going mental and like launching stuff around the class, you might just go, do you know what, alright, I was in the wrong there, move on. Do you know what I mean? It's just fundamentals that you teach. But mate, just to roll off, I have properly enjoyed this. It's been brilliant.
I have, mate. We've got 4 minutes left on that camera, mate. So next 2 minutes, mate. Title fight, then what's your next fight?
Whew. So I'm fighting August 20th in Camp and Fairness for the title. Then I don't know if we should really say this before. I'm fighting September 3rd for another title in Crystal Palace. And then in December, hopefully fighting for the 3rd title on FCC. Like, I never like to look past my first fight. Like, I'm fully focused on August. If I take damage in August, I'm not doing September. But if I can come out fresh, I have another little belt on my other shoulder, one on this shoulder, one right.
20th of August, mate.
She'll be there, lad, in the crowd.
Lad, it's mad, you know.
No, mate,
we do sports show on a Friday, mate. We'll have to get you in for one of them, mate.
Yeah,
when there's a big UFC card coming on, we can just pull that apart.
Chat major shit and watch fights.
Yeah, but that's what, like, going on. We want to, like, eventually watch live events and do reactions and that, and you'd be fucking perfect.
Yeah.
Honest, lad, it's been so interesting, lads. You've got a cracking story, lads, and it's inspiring what you do now, mate. And I'm made up it's all turned out well for you in the end, lads. So, lads, nice one for listening, everyone, and we see you next week.